Already. Are we live? We are. Sweet. Okay. So, testing, check 1, 2. Checkity check. Alright, I'm gonna have to come to this page. No, wait, I can pull it up on my phone so that I can watch for comments if they come through. Basically, this live video is going to be a response to a viewer who asked about how I do the blur effect on my Google Sites, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It's actually not done in Google Sites. We'll get to that in just a second. So let me pull up the video. Are we live yet? We should be. We should be. You see the live stream settings. That should be fine. There we go. Okay. Just want to make sure it was all coming through. All right. There we go. There it is. Super. All right, so let's go ahead and head over here to Google Sites. This is the editor. We're right here in Google Sites. I'm on my art page, and so anyway, I got a question, and I'm sorry I don't have your. Let me see if I can find just so I can give you a shout out where the comment came from. Pedro Rodriguez, thank you for the comment. He says, I want to blur the background. How can I do that? Oh, this is on the Gravit design video. Okay, I got you. Well, thank you, Pedro, for that. There was someone else, and it's just buried now, who asked about the blur effect on my Google Sites. So let me just go back up here a second, and let me show you what I'm talking about. We got a little latency, so don't worry about that. All right, so if I scroll down, do I have any on the home page? Yeah, I do. All right, see this right here? And if I look at it in the preview, you can see it a little bit more clearly. It's loading. Okay, here we go. So this is actually done. I believe that I did this effect in paint.net, but pretty much any raster or pixel-based image editor like Photoshop, GIMP, those kinds of programs will have some kind of Gaussian blur or blur effect. And that's what I used. The easiest one that I can recommend, especially for people still on, if you're on a Chromebook especially, is Photopea, because Photopea runs in the web browser. It's the closest thing to Photoshop you can find that I've been able to find online that runs in a web browser. So it's going to run on your Chromebook as well, no problem. And let me just show you. I'm just going to grab my profile picture for now. I'll drag and drop this in here. We're going to get into designing a little bit of a page layout using some photos, but I just want to show you where the filter is for the blur, and it's just here under filters. Do I remember how to zoom? And do I have enough computer power while I'm streaming? Okay, here we go. Under filters, we've got blur and Gaussian blur. And already we're going to start getting that blur effect. We can really bump it up, which is what I did. I think I did to like 100 pixel blur. And you can see how that you basically just get kind of a frosted glass, you can't see any details. And that's kind of the idea. I think that I also, I'm trying to remember now, what we'll do is we'll create a new layer, drop this layer underneath our background image, and we're just going to use the rectangle tool and create a, let's change our fill color to white and just create a white background. There's other ways to do this. You could just fill it with the paint bucket tool, or this gives me the ability to quickly change the color of it if I want to later on, right up here. But I also now can have I can change my opacity of that blurred image. So I'm just going to do that and take it down to like 60%, so that, and this is different than like adjusting the contrast or the brightness of it. I've gotten a different effect doing it this way. So just lowering the opacity of that blurred image gives us this effect. That's all I did over here in my Google Sites, and I just applied this to the background. So let me get out of the preview. Melinda Jones, hi. And in the section that you want to apply that, you go to section background here, which is the little palette icon. And you can choose an image, and then you upload that image that you just edited. And in Photopea, all you have to do is go to File, Export As, and I would normally recommend a JPEG for this, and you get to play with some settings here, change the quality. Just I try to do as low as I can go without really destroying my image, or use a separate photo compressor that I've shown in other videos, so check those out for how I optimize my photos before uploading them to Google Sites. So now I would just save this JPEG. I'm not going to do it for this image. I just wanted to use this as an example. And then, you know what? Let's do this. Since we're doing a live video, we can make it a little bit longer here. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go to my art page. If you're just joining in, this is Google Sites. I'm using Google Sites and I'm using Photopea, both of which you can access on a Chromebook, any computer really, anything with a web browser. And that's basically what I've done, just a photo editor and Google Sites to create my whole portfolio website. And it's loading slowly because I'm streaming and all that stuff. Okay, what I'm going to do over here in the pages on the right hand side here is actually, let's go under art. I'm going to click that 3-button icon and create a subpage. Add subpage. So it's going to give me a new page. I can name it here, and let's see. I'm just going to do drawings. I'm going to call it ink. I like that better. I do a lot of sort of tattoo and tattoo influenced, traditional tattoo influenced style drawings, and so they kind of lend themselves really well. I've done a lot of tattoo designs for people. And let's see, you know what, we're going to add a header. Let me add the header. There we go. But I'm going to get rid of this box and double click, and we'll do title. We'll center it and just call it ink. And that's fine for now. We'll change the image later on. But right now what I want to do is, I can do this quickly if I go to the insert, and I'm going to grab this 4, let's see, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6. So, and by the way, I'm using Google Photos because it backs up all the photos that I take. These actually were Instagram posts that I have set to sync with my Google Photo storage. So this is a very Google centric video. But anyway, this is how I've got my images that I want to use in my portfolio. This all came from my sketchbook. I do a lot of ink and watercolor sketches, and so I can click on this first check mark and hold Shift so that I have all 6 of these selected. Go up to this 3-dot icon up here, or just use the shortcut key Command Shift D, and I'll download all of those photos. Into a zip file. I'm going to show the folder here. And let's just empty it out. I'll extract. And I'll get rid of the zip folder. Okay, and here's where, let's see, let's go ahead and see our thumbnails here, nice and big. Cool. Here's where I'm going to use Photo P. But first, let's go ahead, because we can actually just use Google Sites to get this set up. So I think I'm going to do 3 and 3, and maybe, no, actually, what should I do here? Because I want to show off this blurred background. Let's just do one nice big one. No, not text, that's not what I wanted. I'm just going to double click here in this blank area and choose Upload. And I'll upload my first image here. I'll go to my Downloads folder, go to my folders, I'm just going to choose that first one. Upload. And with this one, what I want to do is stretch it all the way across, so it's going to automatically crop it. And I want it to just go all the way across. It'll automatically sort of resize it to kind of the optimal dimensions to fit on the screen. This is not a full width image on this actual site, but the section background image is. So let's go to Photo P. Let's get that first one of the sparrows there, upload it into Photo P, go to our filters, go to our blur effect, Gaussian blur. It should have our settings still from the last time we used the Gaussian blur. So nope, it does not. Oh, because I created a new file. So I'm going to put in 100 here. There we go. And let's go ahead and do the same thing we did before. Create a new layer. Create a solid white shape underneath our artwork here, and then I'm going to lower the opacity to 60 so it brightens it up. And then we'll export this as a JPEG. That's fun for now. Back to Google Sites. We'll click on our little palette icon, hover over image, upload, and this is where we're going to put in our blurred image of the artwork that we just created. And one thing that Google Sites will do is, you can see right over here, it says adjusting for readability. If there was text on top of this image, see, it automatically lightens it up even more. So I might not have even had to, let's see what it does if I leave it at 100% opacity. I'm just going to re-export this. I did this, actually, this is pretty common. I do this a lot. There's a lot of trial and error, and I go back and forth. A lot of times, like I said, if I had text on here, that smart adjusting that it's doing to the background image will change the best that it can to accommodate the text. As you can see up here, where the banner is up here, my text is white, so the background image is actually darker and with less contrast. So I'm curious to see how much it adjusts for readability using the one that I didn't lighten up at all. So in this case, it went darker. It went the other way. I like it lighter. I like the kind of like ambience it kind of has. It's a little bit more glassy, and I feel like it shows off the colors just a little bit better. So I'm going to use the little bit lighter one to kind of push it, this auto adjustment. And you can turn that off, by the way. There's this, it's a little 3 little stars, and when you click it, this now is my image that I edited without the overlay that Google Sites is adding to it. But it's there to help readability. So if I added text here, I'll put in a title. And without that adjustment for readability, you can see that it's just slightly harder to read. And if this was a darker image, it would be even harder to read dark text on a dark image. So that's kind of nice that it does that. And I actually like the effect that I get here. So here's one image, that's fine. Let's go ahead and create a new block of content. And I think what I'll do is we'll do a set of 2. So I'm going to grab one of these layouts. These layouts are really great for getting your content in here fast. So what it's done is given me placeholders for text, for captions, and for 2 images already cropped to sort of fit in this optimal area. You can adjust the cropping if you want still, so you're not locked into the layout that it creates here, but this makes it really easy. I can now just go to upload and it will just plop my new image right into this placeholder. So I want to go with my second image in my directory, and I can click on the little plus icon and go to upload again, and I'll do my third image, and you see you can build out this page pretty quickly. I like the white background there, so this will be kind of nice. Maybe this actually will become our heading or banner, and then let's do another section here, but with 3. So that should be all of the images I have. This will be my 4th image. The 5th one, open, okay. And the last one. And like I said, these were all images that I had previously, I'd photographed all of them from my sketchbook. I'd given them all the same filters and color correction before uploading them to Instagram. So now I'm kind of taking that content that I've taken the time to edit and sort of manicure already, and now adding it to a new page in my portfolio. So this is pretty cool. And if I don't want this smaller text, you can get rid of these any of these pieces that you want. Kind of shrink up that area, so I could just have one small piece of text for some kind of caption if I wanted to, or I could just take it off so it's just a grid of photos. So let's preview this and see what we did here. Tuto Making, how you doing? Thank you for watching. So here's where we're at now with our Google Sites. So see how that's a full width image there, and it's got that sort of blurred glassy look to it, that kind of frosted glass look to it. It's borrowing the colors, or the illusion is that it's borrowing the colors from the photo that's in front of it and spreading them out. It's kind of to me it's kind of like an Apple iOS sort of effect, that blurred glass transparency. It's just a nice on the eyes. And there we go down the page. So having text here, you know, it will not look like there's such a difference in spacing here, or I could just get rid of that text and it would have a nice grid layout then. But that's a pretty quick way, you know, if I wanted to do that again or with a different photo. The nice thing is all of these photos, like I said before, because I edited these all together in kind of a being mindful of wanting them to sort of be presented together, they all share some similar colors. So even reusing this image, and we'll see here with the Google Sites readability overlay, really nice. That just looks really nice. And to me, it kind of helps break up the page. So let's go ahead and preview that. So now I'm just reusing that same image that we applied that heavy blur to. As we move down the page, we can see it again. And with some more content, with some text you know, this will all fill out pretty nicely. And it's a good start, at least for kind of a sub page on my art portfolio page for a lot of the sketching and ink work that I do. All right, I